Hello, I'm MPX, and this is Seed Sunday, the weekly series I run on my channel where I show you Minecraft seeds that are particularly interesting and worth checking out in some way. And today I wanted to show you one of the most amazing Minecraft seeds that is only possible because of the updated Aquatic and because of how Bedrock renders certain key generated structures. So let me just go straight into the seed by showing you what it looks like. You want to generate a world with these settings. I wanted to show you the generation just so you can really believe this one. So bit of a different Seed Sunday, but if you type in the seed zoo versus and then yet, again that's the seed, it's from Reddit, telepathic grunt. If you actually type in this exact seed, then you'll get the weirdest world you've ever seen. So nothing else needs to be done. That's the only setting you have to change. We're going to go into creative to make this a little bit easier, but let me show you how when you use the seed zoo versus yet, you find the craziest seed ever imagined. And this is something about the Bedrock engine I find to be especially amazing. It has less limitations on where structures can generate, so that sometimes you'll get something like this. So as you can see, I've spawned on an island and there is a village on the island, and you know, it's actually a pretty boring seed otherwise. Never mind, must have typed in something wrong, except wait a minute, is that something below the water? So if we grab ourselves a night vision potion so we can see it a bit better, because again, I mean, it's kind of lame when you can't see things, right? But if we actually grab ourselves a potion of night vision, then you'll see how things will suddenly get much more clear as to why the seed is so amazing, because this is the weirdest combination of structures I have ever seen. This is a Minecraft NPC village combined with a stronghold. Super weird thing to find by itself, and the stronghold, by the way, is above the water, because strongholds aren't limited to just the end portal room being up in water. The entire thing is here, which you can access from the outside. So by itself, the stronghold is weird. Combined with the village itself, also a very weird thing, but it's a village combined with a stronghold, combined with one more thing right here. It is it's one of the sunken ships that has combined itself with one of the end portal rooms. This, oh sorry, one of the stronghold rooms, which makes for the weirdest thing to, you know, explore, because look, I mean, you go inside here and it's like, wait, how did this happen? And yeah, this is a thing that has happened with the latest Bedrock update, 1.4, 1.5. Check out the seed, and let's go through some of the things you'll find, because as well as just being a huge shock, which you can experience already, let's talk about the very specific things it does offer, because if we, again, look a little bit closer inside here, you'll see how it's not only just like, oh yeah, so there is a ship which goes straight into the stronghold rooms, which, again, by itself offers some weird opportunities, like, oh, there's an air bubble, so you can go in here, grab the stuff, then go up for some air. I guess that's kind of nice. Also, there's a second chest just over here, in case you want the treasure map. But yeah, it's weird because there's this as well, but it's also great because it allows you to explore the stronghold from the kind of swimming position. So if you want to find the end portal room, for instance, all you have to do is go straight over to here, down towards one of the edges, and you can just dig straight into the end portal, and it's right here. Like, it's seriously right here, as long as alongside the rest of the stronghold. It's also a pretty good stronghold because it has 3 IF enders, as we all do know. That's well above average in terms of what you should expect. So 3 IF enders is a crazy little coincidence, you know, 1 in 1,000 chance, I believe, and you know, so that's a nice little thing. And the fact that it's so accessible from spawn makes this a pretty good speedrunning seed. It's not like the perfect speedrun, because obviously there's reasons for that, but the fact that it is so close, it gives you an interesting Minecraft spawn, and it's great because this isn't the only thing that makes this seed so great. So as well as having a island which is filled with some caves, which the villagers get trapped in, which is always a weird little thing by itself, you'll notice how the village buildings go right down into the ocean, just like this, because one villagers try to generate all the way down to the ground they're meant to be on. It's meant to, you know, help with, like, oh yeah, if there's 2 blocks above the ground, then they'll go down to that. However, in this case, you can see it makes the planters go down for a solid 30 blocks. It makes the NPC village go down for a solid 30 blocks, right until it hits the stronghold, which again just looks especially weird in this case, right? And yeah, basically it happens with all of the buildings, which means if you wanted to, you can make like little weird tunnels through these things. And again, I'm not sure what the exact purpose you see of them is, but it is something where there is a lot of possibilities, because there is a lot of extra structure that you don't normally get. But it's, again, moving on from these 3 things right here, there's a few other things that make this seed interesting. First of all, the fact that it is a survival island. Again, if you like survival island, but you think the whole one tree thing is kind of overdone, what if you had a survival islands concept that was just a, Minecraft abandoned village? This is a, sorry, but I guess it's not abandoned, but just a Minecraft village. So there's still wood here, but if you want to, get more wood than this, you're kind of trapped on your own island. There is, of course, a whole roof forest island over here, so if that's your thing, you can head over there and just kind of grab it. But the fact that, there is just this amazing spawn place is something you can seriously consider. Also, it's worth mentioning that just over here, so like not far away from spawn at all, if we just go a little bit further this way, you'll notice how there is a coral reef found right over here, because again, the amazingness doesn't stop right at the spawn. And if you look right over here, you can see how it's a pretty decent one too. Like, it's not one of these tiny, like, oh yeah, there's like 6 pieces of coral. This is one that expands all the way westward until you hit the snow biomes, which is great because there's also found in here a few interesting, there's an underwater ruin, and there's also one of these, of course, the abandoned treasure ship. So yeah, again, sunken ships combined with coral reefs, also sunken ships, combined with everything else. And if it's not enough for you, then just to the very, very, furthest reach beyond that, just before you hit the snow biome, there is an ocean monument as well, which again, I know this is like 1.8 and not 1.5, or it's 1.2 or 3 on the Bedrock version, but I know ocean monuments aren't necessarily, new anymore, but the fact that this update makes them harder might mean that the challenge is going to be more fun for you. There's no easy way to cheese, getting an air in this place, because air has been made so much harder to get. And I figure because of that, this is something kind of fun that you might enjoy. And in case it's not, because oceans are so filled with depth, here you can see, here's an ocean ruin right next to it. So isn't that a great little thing? Get yourself a fishing rod, because that will help you. And yeah, one more thing I want to mention is the fact that guardians seem to spawn more frequent, at least on Bedrock, than they did before. Again, this is just my experience personally. And they'll also kill fish, so they're going to be more occupied with that personally. Again, that's my experience. Even though they, dolphins spawn around them, but it's not really their thing. But again, you can watch the dolphin video if you want to learn more about dolphins, because we're here to talk about the greatness of this seed. Because as well as just the things we've seen already, you can see how if we hop a little bit closer towards this snow biome, so again, we're heading seriously far to the east right now, there is another sunken ship, and then there's another coral reef. And the crazy thing about this coral reef is the coral reef is found right next to an ice biome. So again, the way Minecraft tries to generate biomes is to have hot next to hot, cold next to cold, and then a slow transition between the two. But this is a warm ocean, the warmest ocean in fact. You can see from the colors that it's meant to be this tropical, feel. I mean, the coral reef should give that alone by itself as well, which, by the way, another sunken ship here that I've just spotted right now, because sunken ships for everyone, right? But it's the fact that we have a coral reef, the warmest of oceans, right next to a frozen river, right next to a frozen wasteland, which, by the way, has an igloo attached to it too. The structure madness on the seed just never seems to end, which is great if you want to experience these Minecraft structures for the first time. In fact, just to add to that, there's 2 villages right next to each other with a distance you usually don't find. So yeah, we've got 2 villages over here. Then we've got the igloo, then we've got the coral reef with a sunken ship combined with it, then we've got the ocean ruin, which combines with the ocean monument just over here. Then we've got, again, wait, I'm going backwards through these, then we've obviously got the another shipwreck, then we've got the coral reef, which combines with its own shipwreck as well as its own ocean ruins, if you search through the thing well enough, and then that brings us right back to the spawn, where, again, it is 3 things combined. This is the Structure Insanity seed that, honestly, a part of it kind of encourages me to, play some more Bedrock Survival, and again, maybe it's something that does the same for you, because the Java and console edition world generators were always a bit more conservative. Or console, I mean, if you use the classic world, it wasn't necessarily so conservative, but they always tried to keep, like, a certain amount of space between stuff, but because of the way that stuff is just allowed to generate on top of each other, into each other, again, it leads to, like, a really rare 1 in 1,000 situation where stuff like this generates, and it makes for more fun seeds, in my opinion, and it's something I think they could take some lesson from. Also, I think I missed this until literally just now, but there was also a desert ruin right at the spawn here with all that sort of stuff. So just to add something to the insanity. It's 5 structures for the price of 1, and I think that if that's not good enough for you, then literally nothing ever will be, and, you'll die sad and without anything ever making you happy. But if this is enough for you, then I think you have a great time with it. So yeah, it's also worth mentioning this, there's a desert found to the north. There's obviously over there, an ice biome. To the south, there's an extreme hills, and it's just kind of a nice combination of biomes, in my opinion. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you got something from it. Like it if you did like the video, because it helps out the channel a lot. Let's know you do like this sort of thing. Share if you liked it, and again, big thank you to the Telepathic Grant for, for such an amazing Minecraft seed find. Anyway, thank you very much for watching this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Have a nice day. Goodbye.